Hi, I'm the 13th Wolfman. The people over at Lionsgate were nice enough to send over Locke with Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy plays a character named Locke. This is one of those movies that's just okay. I wouldn't give it the greatest review, just because it's one of those movies that takes place in like one place through the whole film, and that's in this guy's car. Tom Hardy plays a character named Locke, like I already said, and we see him. He's sitting in his car, and it's not the middle of the night, but late at night, and he's works for a construction company that's going to pour Europe's largest pour of cement in one day, outside of it being a military or a government contract, So he's got to make sure that the pumps are right and the trucks are all set up, and they got the road closure permits, for certain roads at certain times, and got to make sure all that stuff's done before tomorrow morning. Make sure everything goes off without a hitch. And all of a sudden he gets we don't know this, but he got a phone call, and now he's in his car driving towards London, I believe it is. And he's supposed to be at this pour, which is many hours the other way. He gets this phone call from a woman that says, I'm having your kid. He's married. He's got 2 kids already, but he wants to make sure that he does the right thing and shows up for the kid's birth. Yeah, he cheated on his wife once. And this is what the whole movie is. He's in his car and he's driving along, and he calls his wife and says to his wife, I'm not coming home tonight, I'm going to London, and he explains the whole thing to her. And it's just a phone conversation between him and that voice. And then he gets a phone call from his upper at the job, and says, well, are you ready for the pour tomorrow? And we have this conversation. And it's all just a bunch of conversations of him talking to voices, driving in the car. There's really it's an hour and a half of this, and it's just it's an okay movie, but it's kind of slow. I mean, there's a lot of questions at the end of the movie that we don't get answered that were brought up in the movie. So just for that, I'm going to give this like 2.25 chainsaws out of 4. I mean, Tom Hardy did a good job, but he didn't really have to do much. Just drive and talk. And you don't see anybody else. There are no other faces really in this movie. You don't get any flashbacks of him cheating on his wife. You don't get to see what his kids look like or his wife. They're just voices. And I would have liked a little more. I mean, the story sound compelling, but when he's talking to the guy, when he's talking to his foot soldier, basically the guy that's gonna help out do the pour tomorrow instead of him, he calls this guy, and this guy's in a total panic. I would have liked to have seen the look on the guy's face that's in a total panic. I would have liked to have seen him doing the stuff that Tom Hardy's told him to do, but we don't get that. It's okay. It's definitely worth a rental, but overall, it's just an okay movie. Like I said, I give it 2.25 chainsaws. I feel that's what it deserves. So that's the cover art, and that's the disc. And really, the front of the cover and the back of the cover have almost the same shot in it. Tom Hardy does an okay job. I mean, the voices you hear in this movie, other than Tom Hardy, I didn't recognize anyone else's name. It's Olivia Colman, Ruth Wilson, Andrew Scott, Ben Daniels, Tom Holland, and Bill Milner. Like I said, I don't recognize any of those names. Tom Holland, I mean, there was he's not an actor though. He was a writer director, Tom Holland, but he did, you know, I don't know if that's the same person. I mean, yeah. And Rotten Tomatoes gives it a fresh tomato seal, so there you go. That's Locke. I give it 2.5 chainsaws out, or 2 1/4 chainsaws out of 4. I'm the 13th Wolfman. I'm on the prowl.